Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to part 4 of the 1954 Gravely. Today we're going to be removing the carburetor, and I'm going to have to take it apart, separate the bowl and everything, because none of the tricks that I normally do work anymore. I mean, it worked a little bit in the beginning, but it really never ran right. And then towards the end of part 3, I said I was going to adjust the carburetor, which I couldn't adjust it. And I tried to clean it off again by taking the high side adjustment out and the low side and whatnot, you know, the way I do it. And I still had to run it with the choke on a little bit when I was test driving it. So today we're going to remove it and see if I can get it apart. And I'll probably, I said in part 3, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to save the bowl gasket at least. I know with the aluminum carburetors, you could just buy the bowl gasket for it. But for the cast iron carburetors, I didn't see anywhere where you could just get the gasket for it. But then again, I don't know what it needs inside anyway. So let's take it apart, and I'll probably have to stick it in the vise. And we'll see if we could get it apart. I already sprayed. The screws come up from the bottom here that hold the bowl underneath, and there's 4 screws. And I hit them with WD-40, and we'll just see if we can get this thing apart. I got a can over here so we can put all our bits in here so we don't lose anything. Now I'll go ahead and disconnect the choke cable here. I already disconnected the fuel line. Let's see here. Okay, so we have 2 half-inch socket, half-inch bolts. I'll be using a half-inch socket to get these bolts out to hold the carburetor to the manifold. So we'll go ahead and do that now. I don't know what we're going to find inside this carburetor here. It's a nice cool morning today. It's not bad at all out. I think it's about 6:45 in the morning here. But the humidity is supposed to be low today, which is good, because we've had some really hot days here. Okay, so I'm going to get set up over on the vise. Yeah, you can tell this is cast iron. This thing weighs. It's pretty heavy. So I'm going to get set up over by the vise, and I'll probably stick this in the vise so we can get it apart. and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I'm going to try to get the bolt screws out here. Good, there's one. They weren't exactly that tight. They don't seem to. There's one. I don't know what the chances are of saving the gasket here, but we'll soon find out. Chances are this carburetor was probably apart at one time. These screws are coming out. Well, I shouldn't say that yet, but they're coming out pretty easy. Knew I'd have to drop something sooner or later, but we got it. Okay, this is the fourth screw coming out now. Okay. Okay, we haven't done any harm to the gasket so far. Yeah, the gasket's all intact here. Doesn't really seem to be that bad. So I'm going to clean out all the jets and everything. Chances are this jet here is probably clogged, most likely. And I might take the float, take the float bowl out, and whatever else we can take out to clean. I'm curious to see what, there's a jet in here too. I don't know what the story is going to be about pulling the jets out. I guess we'll try to pull this one out here maybe. See if we can get it out. Try a different screwdriver. Nah, I'm not going to be able to pull that out. Alright, I'm going to get the torch tip cleaner and see if we could go ahead and clean some of this, some of these jets out over here. We got one jet down here. I'm going to try to clean, and like I said, this, I'm pretty sure that's the main jet there. But it's really not that cruddy and it's not that dirty in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the torch tip cleaner and see if I can clean the jets out, clean everything I could possibly clean out. I don't know. I sprayed spray through this where I've showed you a number of times where the main jet adjustment assembly goes in here. So I sprayed through here. I did it with brake clean. And it sprayed out through here, and then this other little jet over here. So I'm really not seeing any clog or anything. I don't know what this hole is over here. I'm going to have to see what that is. And then we're just going to have to investigate further. I'm not really seeing, and I'm not seeing that much dirt in the bowl. I mean, it's not that bad at all. So, okay, I'll get back to you. Hopefully I'll find some. I was hoping that I found the main jet was clogged a little bit, at least. Or maybe I did blow some stuff out when I shot it with brake clean. I also took the torch tip cleaner and I went through here and I went through this jet here and then this little one over here, and the passages seem to be pretty clear. I did feel some resistance. There's a tiny little jet over here. So I took the torch tip cleaner, the smallest one, and I could feel resistance in there. And then when I sprayed in here, it seemed like nothing would pass. I just blew a very little bit of air in here, and it feels like I dislodged whatever was in here, crud, rust, whatever. So, okay, so I'm going to continue with the other part of the carburetor now. Okay, so I took the low speed jet, the mixture screw out here, and I sprayed in here, and I have good flow coming in through here and everything. And I also checked the needle and seat, and that seems to be operating fine. It's closing, it's opening. I sprayed some WD through here, and it shot right out when I held the float down. Well, actually the float would be down this way. And then I made sure when it was closed that it sealed good. So I don't know what else to do as far as cleaning anything else. I cleaned everything else. And as I said, the only thing I found here was this little jet here. Seemed to be pretty clogged right here. I had a lot of resistance, and then like I said, as soon as I took the torch tip cleaner, the smallest one, and I was running it in and out of there, and I could feel resistance. Then I didn't feel resistance anymore, and now I'm getting flow through this jet here. This jet's fine. The high side jet's fine. The main jet. So I'm just going to put it back together, and we're going to give it a try and see how it runs now. Okay, so it'll run now with the choke off, but I'm really not too happy with it. I put a little more gas in it. I'm going to add a little more seafoam to it, and I think we'll go ahead and clean the air cleaner and hook up the air cleaner to it, and then we'll just try it out in the field and see how it works. Okay, so the air filter is pretty simple to clean. What you have here, this is the top part here, and what you're going to do is see this screen in here? You want to make sure that's all clean. This one's really clean. Okay, you could clean this out with carburetor cleaner, brake clean. Nothing's going to hurt it. You can flush it out with gas. Just blow it out after you're done cleaning it and make sure it's pretty dry in there. And then what you're going to do is, the oil in here is pretty fresh, but there's not much oil in it. Usually they have like a mark in here to where you would fill this with you just use your regular motor oil in here. So there's a ridge in here. I'm just going to fill it up to this ridge here and then put it back together. You don't want to make it too full, then you'll be sucking gas into the carburetor throat. So you got to be careful of how much oil you put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this oil out and just wipe this out real good, and then fill it back up to where the oil mark I think should be here, and I'll put it back together and I'll see how it runs. I might have to adjust the carburetor again, because like I always say, always adjust your carburetor after you have your air filter hooked up. And then after I do that, I'll take it out in the field and we'll see how there's not much grass to cut out there, but we're just going to cut some grass with it and see how it does. So far it's good that I don't have to run it with the choke on. There has to be a blockage in there. I don't know if, when I put the seafoam in, I got to put a couple of shots in, which I'm going to do right now, and let that run through. Otherwise, I don't know as far as the carburetor goes. Maybe it'll clear up with the seafoam, but we'll see. Okay. This runs pretty horrible, guys. So we'll just see how it cuts. There's got to be something wrong in the carburetor. It's like running too rich. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can figure something out. Anyway, the mower deck, after I tightened up the slip clutch, that part seems to be okay right now, but I don't know. So anyway, thanks for watching. But we got it running. I don't have to run it on choke anymore. But there's still something going on in the carburetor, so I'll have to do further investigation on it and see what's going on. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.